Here we go, guys. So now I'm officially live. So this is take two here of the Small Business Network, along with Transformation Greatness. And we're doing take two, guys. And it looks like apparently that no one actually even knew that I was even on live, which is very, very, very strange, very interesting to say the least. So let me go ahead and let everybody else know that I'm back on. All right. Oh, let me see here. I'm back on. All right, I'm back on. Let me see here. I'm back on. And I'm back on. Okay, so let's see what we got. What we got moving and grooving here. All right, through the power of grace. Oh, we are back on here. Okay. Okay, cool. Awesome sauce. So let me just notify some folks. See if I can do it this way. Let's see if I can share something out here. All right, let's see here. If not, then what I may have to do is reset my phone. And we'll go ahead and do that. Ah, here we go. So we got Tia here. Okay, perfect. All right, there she goes. So let's go ahead and accept the one and only Bedford. And I'll wait for her to come on. And then we'll officially open this up here. And we'll go ahead and get this rocking and rolling. And through the power of social media, we go. Here we go.
Hi. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties, right?
I'm telling you, we just got finished talking about that, which was very weird because I was actually live and I was wondering, nobody was getting a notification or anything. And I was like, this is interesting. This is very, very interesting.
Caught in a glitch, I guess, but I'm so glad that it's working out. Hi.
Absolutely. So now we can officially get started here. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Transformation Greatness, along with the Small Business Network podcast. And this is episode 70, and this is history in the making. For all of those men and women that were past contributors as far as to our podcast, we appreciate you so much. And because of you, we have been able to reach this historical mark. 70 episodes, and we're just getting warmed up. We're just getting started. And we're going to go ahead and continue with that great trend because we have here a very special guest, which is hailing all the way from Phoenix, Arizona. Someone that is an entrepreneur supreme. She is here to share her story. She's here to share as far as her expertise on what it's like being an entrepreneur and all that good stuff. So with no further ado, I want to go ahead and introduce my very special guest here, Miss Tia Beckford, hailing from sunny, it looks like, sunny Phoenix, Arizona.
Yes, thank you so much, Shawn, for asking me to come on today.
Absolutely. And I'm just curious, what is the temperature out there in Arizona right now? Because it's about 5-something in the afternoon.
Yes, it's hot already. It's starting to, we had that week for winter, the week we had for winter, and now, yeah, it's hot.
Hot, like how hot are we talking?
Well, I put the air on 72 today. But I think outside it's probably about 90.
Ooh, wow, in April? Wow. That remind me of the Miami days. I tell you. Then again, I really don't miss those days because that's too hot. But anywho, let's go ahead and get this rocking and rolling here. So for the listening audience here, if you can just introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about who you are.
Sure. So, of course, my name is Tia Bedford, and to tell you a little bit about myself, I'm originally from New Jersey and Pennsylvania, right? So most people, when they hear I'm from Arizona, they're like, but where are you from? So maybe you hear an accent. I don't hear it, but I was raised in New Jersey and then moved to Pennsylvania when I was 18, and then we moved out to Arizona when I was 35, I think. I'm going to be 49 next month. So, yeah, I'm hoping to do 18 years in New Jersey, 18 years in Pennsylvania, and probably 18 in Arizona, and then go on a new adventure. We'll see.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Love it. Love it. Shout out to the Jersey, by the way. I'm from New York, so I'm from the East Coast as well. So shout out to Jersey and shout outs to PA as well. I definitely have family and friends out there in PA and Jersey, you know, respectfully. But Arizona would be one of the places I would love to visit. I gotta say. I gotta say.
Come on out here. There's so many things to do. Let me know in advance. We'll schedule it.
Gotcha. Gotcha, gotcha. And I just want to say hello for all those that's tuning in. So we have here Dr. James MBC, aka the mad scientist, part and CEO. Welcome, my friend. Dr. James, if you can do me a favor, if you will, if you can just notify as far as our respective groups and just let everybody know that we're on live, because I was trying to tag everyone earlier, but for some reason, Facebook had other ideas. So if you could just do me that solid, my friend, I would definitely appreciate that. So Tia,
Yes,
let's
thank
go ahead
you.
and move right along with the second question. If you can just tell us a little bit more about your brand or your business, as far as on what you do.
Okay. A little bit of everything. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm an early childhood educator. I'm certified in early childhood, and I believe, the children are our future. Everyone, Whitney told us that, right? Um, excuse me. But I think it's really important that we nurture the children so that they can become healthy adults. So many times we think about children as seen and not heard, or that they're not important. But then what winds up happening is there's so much trauma to children that they become adults that can't function,
Right.
who are then trying to raise children.
Right.
So, it definitely takes a village, and it still takes a village, and a lot of people try and do it on their own. But I meet the families, and usually once I start caring for their children, I'm their only babysitter. So I started my business. Actually, that was my first job. When I was like 11, I was on salary after school.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
you get paid. I got paid what, $30 a week, whether I had to watch them or not. That was salary. So, excuse me. I started having my son. I had my first child at 18, and I had all kinds of jobs in the, where you have to clock in and
Right.
out, right?
Right.
In every field that you have. But I have always wanted to have my own business because I am fourth generation entrepreneur. And yeah, my son has his own business in Pennsylvania as well. So, and I have 4 kids altogether and 2 grandkids. And I am trying to talk to my girls in the middle about what they want to do as an entrepreneur. Because right now they're, clocking in and out.
Right.
But we know that financial independence is the goal. And for financial independence, you really need to have your own business.
Yeah, that is definitely the case, and that is something that you know for 9 to 5ers, because I still have a 9 to 5 as well, right? There's nothing wrong with having a job. There's really nothing wrong with that because you have to survive. But if you're looking to seek that financial independence, right, then at some point you're going to have to make a decision, right?
Yeah,
And what I've learned is that even though I have a 9 to 5, but you have to have like an exit strategy, and you have to understand how much you actually need on a monthly basis, right? As far as like towards like your business, in order for you to say, okay, you know what, I have enough where now I can be able to walk away from my 9 to 5 and do on what I truly love on a full-time basis, because you're 1,000% correct. As long as you're working for someone else, you'll never be able to receive that financial independence, because you will always be capped. And I don't care if you make 50 grand, 60 grand, 70 grand, 80 grand, 100 grand, doesn't matter. You're still capped to a certain degree. So you're 1,000% correct on that. Can you share us a little bit? Well, and actually you did, because you mentioned that you're a fourth generation entrepreneur. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
So you always,
My great, my
had
great,
that in your blood.
absolutely. My great grandfather put the he put the lights on the bridges and the subways in Pennsylvania. My grandfather had a auto repair shop where you take the dents out,
Yeah.
And then my mom, she made absolutely everything by hand. She was very gifted.
Wow.
And my son has his own construction company. He started as what's that word when you work under someone and they train you?
Apprentice or journeyman.
Apprentice. Yes, he did that, and then went to school for drafting, and now he's has his own business with an LLC, and I'm very proud of him too, because you know, I just always wanted my children to be able to do what they love. And I think that people miss that nowadays. People miss waking up and living their passions and making money from their passions. And it's not quit your job day at all. But I do think you can design the life that you work so hard for. We only have this lifetime. It should be doing something we enjoy.
So,
And then leaving a legacy. Even though I'm fourth generation entrepreneur, when my family members passed, their businesses died with them. So I wasn't born into wealth.
right.
And I wanted to make sure that my grandchildren and their children will be born into a net worth, so that they're able to get their education, find their passions and their dreams, and live their best life. People talk about their best life, but if you really ask yourself your quality of life, are you doing what you love? And if you could do what you love and get paid for it, that's even better. Then you won't have the stresses that you have. Everyone always has life going on, right?
Yep.
But when you wake up and you're striving for what you enjoy doing, it makes work different. It makes the word job different. You don't mind going to work if you're doing something that you love.
Correct.
And you're going to either make someone else rich or get rich yourself with the same exact effort. I would just encourage you, that anyone watching, that you make yourself rich, because you are putting in the same amount of effort, whether you're doing it for someone else or you're doing it for yourself. And then once you legitimize your side hustles and passions into a business, you can learn the tricks of the trade. You can learn the taxes. You can learn how to invest. You can do all the things. But if you're caught in the rat race,
Right.
you're going to miss it. You're just going to miss it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And also, I just want to say hello to all those that's tuning into the attendance. So we have here Christy Redding, aka my entrepreneur twin. She's another partner and CEO from the Small Business Network. So welcome. She is here from live in Louisiana. And for all those that's just tuning in now, welcome once again to Transformation Greatness, along with the Small Business Network podcast. We are here, episode 70, where my very special guest here, hailing all the way from sunny Phoenix, Arizona, dropping that knowledge, Miss Tia Bedford. Tia.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Tia, can you tell us a little bit more about your products or services that you bring as far as to your clients or to the marketplace? Would you like to share more of that?
Sure. So I mentioned I have a childcare and parent mentor business called Nurture Resilience. I am partnering with a dear friend in Pennsylvania to open up a center for families, just as I spoke on, so that, you know, when parents are preparing for their child, they'll have support. After they have their children, they'll need discipline. They'll need to learn disciplining because, you know, every job you have to have a learning period. But for some reason, parenting, they just wing it. You just wing it, you
Right,
know?
right,
And and so I think that kids experience a lot of stress and trauma because their parents just don't know.
mm,
They just don't know how to support them,
mm,
or you know, they have something in their mind of what parenting is supposed to be, and it's much harder than that. And
right,
it's never ending, never ending. My oldest is 30. Um, so yeah. I also, my son has a contracting business in Pennsylvania. And so of course if you're in the Doylestown, Chalfont, Lansdale area, I know he's like 45 minutes outside of Philly.
oh, okay,
Hmm. And then I have a marketing company um, where I teach people how to brand themselves and market their products, and you know, turn their annual income into their monthly income, residual, that sleep money.
mm,
That's the money I'm talking about, where you get paid over and over and over. And people think that that's not a possibility or it's a scam. But if you really think about it, the big companies out there are making residual money on you. So I think you just need to be educated on how to do it and choose the blueprint that fits your lifestyle. And let's get this money. Let's get it. And then I also own a travel company and a legal consulting company. Um, so I told you I do a lot of things, right?
right,
I have 6 businesses now, but I'm on pace to have 10 by the end of the year. And it's only going to grow because I have good intentions and I'm putting in the work, right? And trying to help other people instead of being a crab in the
right.
barrel. And I love crabs, by the way. Oh my gosh, there's no crabs out here. Oh, but anyways, um, you know, helping other people, lift them up to a better lifestyle, a better mindset, a better catch the wave, you know, and just do what you love. Do what you love and help other people. That's the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the reason why, you know, with the small business network and with the business ventures in which I have, that's what it's all about, right? Because, you know, it's one thing as far as to be in it for profit. And obviously, most entrepreneurs you come in contact with, you know, they're doing their business ventures for profit. But at the same token, if it's not benefiting others and it's not creating impact, you know, other people's lives, then really you gotta ask yourself, then what is, like, is that really your purpose? Like, do you love what you do, or are you doing it for the money, right? And I
Right.
think with more clarity, the more that a person has more clarity and understanding, then the better they'll be, right?
Right.
And yeah, I mean, but totally, as far as what residual income, that is the way to go. That is most certainly the way to go, and that's what we're all striving for. Tia,
Hmm.
we had a conversation, and you mentioned to me as far as with your backstory and what inspired you to become an entrepreneur. You already shared with the audience that you're a fourth generation entrepreneur. So maybe you can explain to the audience more of what inspires you to become an entrepreneur. Maybe you can even tell us a little bit more about some of the ups and downs and the pains and pleasures, right, of being an entrepreneur, right? And I think that it would definitely benefit someone that's either thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, thinking about starting a business, or maybe have a business and they probably feel like, well, maybe no one really understands them because maybe they may feel like that they're by themselves. Would you like to elaborate on that?
Sure. So I don't like working for other people. I don't like being told what to do, you know. So that helps when you're an entrepreneur. You still, I mean, no matter what, it doesn't matter what business, you are always going to have to follow somebody else's leadership,
Okay.
you know, and instruction. But I don't want my income to be determined by someone else's mood of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I just find it's financial independence it's freeing. Um, it gives you options because life is hard for all of us.
Right.
Like I'm a fibromyalgia warrior, and you know, that means that I can't work a typical clock in, clock out job.
Right.
Because, you know, some days I can, some days I can't. And honestly, today I started out on the couch and then I moved back to the office. I think I'm going to be able to do a day in the office and a day on the couch because my body just isn't keeping up with my mind,
right.
You know, all my goals and things. But don't quit. Don't quit. That's what I would say about entrepreneurship. When you decide you want to own a business, then you have to study that as well. Chrissy said she can relate. So, you know, I know there are many people out there that can understand the struggles of entrepreneurship. It's not easy. It's not easy. And you don't get rich quickly. But if you're always in pursuit of success, you're going to eventually get there. It's a journey, and you know, you could take 2 steps forward and 2 steps back, right? Exactly. Don't quit, because a lot of times people say they don't feel comfortable starting their own business, but yet they're not comfortable in their current life. So the choice is to be if you're going to be uncomfortable anyway, you might as well be uncomfortable pursuing your dreams and your goals.
But wouldn't that also be too, and I'm glad you mentioned that too, because that's definitely powerful. But wouldn't that also be due to mindset, you believe, Tia? Because you have so many people that may still have that 9 to 5 mindset, or they may say, well, I don't want to start a business because of the fact that they don't want to be held responsible or feel like that they have to put in any kind of work, and rather they just they're just so dependent upon someone else, like basically just doing the brunt of everything, right? And they just get paid the bare minimum.
For anyone who wants to be an entrepreneur, I would highly recommend you study it. Study successful entrepreneurs. And it is, you know, I'm an educator, but I'm learning all the time. I learn something new every single day. And then once I practice it and perfect it, I'm sharing it with everybody who hears my voice. It seems as though the devil doesn't want me to be great, because right now my voice is leaving me. But yeah, I just feel like people, once you have a blueprint, say if you want to be a hairstylist or makeup artist, photographer, study those successful people who you admire that are already doing that, and then put in the work. If that means you have to do your 9 to 5, do your 9 to 5. Pay those residual bills while you're building something else. Because one day you're going to want to put in PTO, not to ask for permission to leave, but to prepare the others that you won't be returning. Because you're ready to transition, transition into financial freedom. I believe that freedom gives us options. And once you have those options, you can build wealth. And then once you build wealth, I don't know why I tongue tied today, it transfers over to leaving a legacy. And I think 2 years ago, when Kylie Jenner had her baby Wolfie, and they announced him as being born, I immediately went to Google and said, what is his net worth on the day that he was born? Because I think, I was a Kardashian before the Kardashians came. Me and my friends, we just knew we were the
Right.
end all be all. We were the it ones,
Right.
before all the social medias. And to know that if I had the blueprint early on, my life would have been extremely different, the life experience, and that of my children, because even though I raised them to live unapologetically themselves, they still have that mindset of it can happen for someone else, but it probably won't happen for me. And I think that is the mindset that a lot of people have, because I homeschooled all of my children at different times. And I'm still homeschooling my 11-year-old. But I believe that if you change your mindset, and you have to work on your mindset like you work on your job, it is all work. It is really all effort.
Correct.
And if you think you can't do it, I'm living proof that anything is possible. I think the devil tried to take me out 6, 7 times already. I told him, it's just not working. You should probably pick somebody else. Because when sometimes I would wake up in so much pain that I would open my eyes, look at the ceiling, and be like, God, why am I still here? Because the pain was so unbearable. But now I wake up, I'm still in pain. But I'm so thankful for another day that the Lord has given me so that I can help other people. My goal is to help 14 million people before the Lord calls me home. I don't know where that number came from, but with all the social medias, I believe it's a possibility.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned that too, because and this is something in which I've been harping about, I don't know, for the past maybe 4 or 3 years to you. It's like, listen, we're at a time with social media, the digital age, information, like literally a person can watch this podcast and be way over in Russia or anywhere else, right? In a matter of seconds. Think about the impact that one person can make. And the Kardashians, and I'm glad you mentioned the Kardashians, right? Think about the impact they done made. The Kardashians, right? Think about any celebrity, right? They're just people, but they use and they understand the power of social media in this digital age. And listen, they're regular people, right? It's just that they found their audience of people that are very interested on what they do on a day in and day out basis. So why can't you? And
Exactly.
Tia, I absolutely love what you stated, because you actually answered my last question, which was why now. And I love that what you said as far as that you want to be able to help 13 million people before you leave this planet. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
That's a big why. That is so powerful. That's what I'm talking about. Tia, how can people get a hold of you? How, if they want to, do business with you, right? They want to find out more about you. How can they get a hold of you? What are your social media handles? Do you have an email? Anything in which they can connect with you with?
All the things. I have all the social medias, email. My cell number is on my page as well. Definitely reach out. It's all my handles are Tia Bedford without the space in between the first and last name, because I'm a woman of my word, and you're as good as your name. So I put my name out there as the brand, and that way people don't have to. Is it Buttercup 123?
Right.
No,
Right.
I'm Tia Bedford, and I would like to help you change your life and change your legacy. Get at me at Tia Bedford on all the social medias. And there's never a bad time. I'm ready. I'm always ready. I wake up early and I go to bed late because I'm putting in the work.
Right.
You know, I find that a lot of people say that they want to have a better lifestyle, but it really is like working out. Like people who start a workout, you hire a trainer, you work every single day on your body. You
Right.
have to do that for your business as well. And if you have a 9 to 5, then fine. If you usually get up at 6, get up at 5:30. That's and go to bed. If you usually go to bed at 9, go to bed at 9:30.
Yep.
That's an hour you can work your business. Everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. It's just what are you going to do with your 24 hours? And you need to stretch yourself. Stretch yourself just a little bit. Like I was getting up at 5, and my goal was to get up at 3 because East Coast is already up.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So I started just setting my clock 30 minutes ahead of time. 30-minute difference. So instead of getting up at 5, I was getting up at 4:30.
Mm-hmm.
And then when my body started waking up at 4:30, then I changed it to 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that. And now I'm at 3. Now I don't know. I might go to 2, but I think 3 is pretty good. And that is what I would say to anyone listening to this. If you want something, if you want to have a business, then you have to design it. You have to put in the work. You have to plan it out. Don't just think about it. Talk about it. I have a vision board I made in November. I just started it in April. I made a new vision board because I had achieved my visions, because I'm putting in the work. And put it in 10 times the amount that you think you should do, because the law of averages say you'll probably succeed 10% of your efforts.
Mm-hmm.
So put in more effort so that you can see a better result.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for all those that's tuning in, you can catch us on the live or the replay. This is Transformation Greatness along with the Small Business Network podcast, episode 70. And we have here our very special guest, Ms. Tia Bedford, dropping some major nuggets. And I'm hoping that you guys are taking notes. One last question, Tia, because this has been absolutely fantastic. And I appreciate your time. I mean, I know that you're a very busy woman. I'd like to ask all of my guests, and for my audience, they know the question I'm about to ask you, but there's someone that's watching this right now, and they're saying, Tia, Shawn, that's great. I hear what you guys are saying, and I've been thinking about being an entrepreneur, or I'm an entrepreneur and things is tough, but I don't think on what you guys are saying applies for me, right? Because I'm going through a lot right now. I'm going through a lot of health issues, going through a lot of family issues. You don't know as far as on what's going on and X, Y, and Z, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. You get me? And so if you can do me a favor, Tia, I would like for you to take a look in that camera, and I want you to speak to the individual, and if they were in front of you, what would you say to him or her that has that type of mindset? Take it away.
Okay. My mom taught me early on that life isn't fair, and life keeps lifing for people. Okay? You're gonna Excuse me. Excuse me. You're going to come across trials and tribulations. And if you're not experiencing life or the pressures of life, then you're probably no longer living. Okay? So you need to design your life so that when emergencies come up, they still happen. They're going to still happen, no matter what level financially that you have. But if you're preparing in advance, then if there's an emergency, you have options. And it doesn't take you down. You won't have a nervous breakdown. I started one of my businesses in October 2021. And in January of 2022, I had my first grandbaby. However, at the same time, I was in a coma because of a bad reaction to medication.
Oh, wow.
So when I almost died, he almost died getting here because the complications were just really bad. Wow. And I woke up, and first thing they said to me, I had a trach, I had to learn to walk again. I had to do months of physical therapy. And the first thing that they said was, you have a grandson. And
wow.
I just knew that things were going to be better. So I wasn't taking care of my health as I should have been, but the doctors were the ones giving me these meds like we didn't know that it was going to have that effect.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. But as I became even more determined when I woke from that coma, that something's got to give. You know, to be on, there's a rat race, there's a hamster wheel, but if you continue to get the same results that you've been getting and you're not satisfied with them, you must learn to do something else. And I would encourage you to work on your mindset. I am a firm believer that mindset is everything.
Absolutely.
And there's so much out there that you can get for free about mindset. I mean, YouTube University, to be exact, right? Right now, I'm studying Mr. Eric Thomas. I'm going to be meeting him August 24th.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm studying him right now. And he is definitely a beast. He tells it to you. He does not sugarcoat it, you know. And, excuse me, so you have to work on your mindset like you work on your business. You have to work on your mindset and your business like you work your job. And if you're putting 100% or 110% in at your job, and I know a lot of us are tired after work. You're tired. I get it. I get it. But do what others are not doing now so that you can live the life that most people will never get to live later.
That's right. That is,
and especially if you're healthy, because that's not always guaranteed.
that is
right.
Yep. Yep. Correct.
So I think if you put everything in the mindset of training, of being in a training mindset, you're training your mindset, you're training your body, you're training your team. Right now, I have what I call income producing activities, right? And I love to cook. I love to cook, and I usually cook on Sundays. But my husband cooked today because he knows I'm building something,
right?
You know. And so if he can't do it, we'll have to bring someone else in who that is their gift. Someone that's, instead of saying I can't work my business because I have to clean the house. Someone out there loves cleaning houses. That's their gift. Let them do that while you build your legacy. So those are a couple different pointers that I would have.
Outstanding. And for all those that are looking to get with Tia Bedford, absolutely, I would highly recommend you do so. Definitely. You can reach her here through Facebook, what is that, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube,
yes.
all the social media handles is going to be under the same, her name. And also reach out to her as well. If you take a look at her profile, it has a telephone number as well. And she's very, very nice. She's good people. And yeah, it's just going to be amazing to see as far as on what you do in the near future. So is there anything else in which that you would like to add or leave for the listening audience?
I guess a couple of things. When you see me out here in these streets, these social media streets, please know that I'm authentically reaching out to you. There's a lot of scams going on. I don't want to name them, but I'm sure your page is getting flooded with them as well. I'm a real person, and I live unapologetically me. I've gone through enough healing that now I'm able to do it on a wider platform like this. And I'm reading right now the 10X rule. So I'm doing a book club for that. And then also 10X Kids, because, you know, I just believe the children, if we were taught financial literacy at a young age, it's a game changer, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm doing a lot of things. I have mentorship programs, and I'm going to be out here every day. I think the only reason why I'm not at the goal right now is because not enough people know me. But once they know me, we can network, we can partner, we can collaborate, all the things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what, Tia, this is going to be a joy and a privilege. And I believe as far as we can definitely help you out with that. But we'll talk about that after this is over with. And ladies and gentlemen, so this wraps up here episode 70 here from Transformation Greatness in the Small Business Network podcast. I just want to thank my very special guest, Ms. Tia Bedford, once again for gracing us with her awesome knowledge and wisdom. And for anyone that's watching this and would love to be a guest as far as on our podcast, please feel free to reach out to myself, to Christy Redding, my co-host, Roosevelt Russell, Tina Kong, Dr. James McConnell, or any one of our special co-hosts, and we would love as far to have you on. If you're watching this and you're saying like, wow, you know what, I would love as far as to even be a co-host as well, and to be able to interview people, or even more so just to come on board and just talk about more so about your business, your passion, your profession, or whatever you have going on, or whatever you feel strongly about, then absolutely get in contact with us as well. And for all those that do know that we feature as far as like in TV and radio, and if that's something that you'll be most certainly interested in, then let's have a conversation with that. And guys, we just got so many great things going on, likewise with Tia as well, and we're just ready to serve and to add value. So until then, ladies and gentlemen, if what we stated on here either motivated, transformed, or inspired at least one person, may God be the glory, and we take no credit for absolutely none of it. Until then, it has been an absolute pleasure. We appreciate you. By His grace and mercy, look forward to seeing you all on the next episode. Peace and love, everyone. Thank you.
Peace.
Absolutely. Take care.
You too.